and identify themselves. All right, we did have the celebration committee was going to be here. They canceled because of the flu or feeling under the weather. So we'll jump right into ex officio. We'll start out with the February 12th, 2026. Let's go with the planning board.
Our last meeting, we talked a little bit about the Muddy River lighting, the outdoor lighting, and some of the other things. I think the sentiment of the board was that Muddy River has made a variety of changes here and there, however small or not so small, without coming back to the board. And those changes aren't actually on their site plan. Examples included occupancy of the house before the approval for occupancy for the house was given. They are following through with giving their water flow reports, and that's ongoingly monitored, but they are going to be invited to come back. That's the outdoor lighting. Glenn had a conversation with them, and they said they wanted the back part of the parking lot better lit for safety for their patrons, but it seems excessive and the light goes really up high into the trees. Glenn was going to give them some spec sheets. Yeah, some spec sheets on lighting. However, the parking lot actual size and the lighting aren't part of their plan. So it was the agreement of the whole board to have them come back and have the plan actually be updated for what they really want to do, get guidance from the principal, move forward in a more formal way than just sort of figuring it out on their own and then having board members say, hey, we noticed this.
If I may interject here, the way they have the lighting, it's pointing right at the abutting house. And even if the abutter doesn't care, some future abutter may, and it shows a lack of empathy for the neighbors. So, and it kind of looks like a prison yard.
It doesn't look particularly appealing, and it also was not part of the plan. And so getting away from the idea that businesses can just sort of figure things out on their own without coming back to the board is just something that wants to be changed as a process, have process be followed correctly and consistently.
And I think that's an excellent direction. We need to standardize this, and nice job.
So that's happening. We talked about the zoning information materials, and Mike Sununu was going to swap out a photo per Sue's suggestion that shows a house with an ADU. So it sort of looks to scale onto this. And then this flyer will be shared by email with both sides of it and the body of an email for the town. And so that's to help educate people about what's going to be on the ballot for this. And that way, if they have any questions, there's going to be an informational meeting on March 4th at 7 p.m. That's a Wednesday night, and the planning board will be present to discuss anyone's questions or concerns about the warrant articles that aren't discussed at the deliberative session, specifically zoning changes, including the ADU changes and residential and commercial, what's changing there. So that's going to happen. No SIP update at all. And yeah, that's like the crux of it.
Mobile station.
Yeah, that's us. Nothing. The planning board's doing nothing with that. That's us. Yeah.
I know. Where are we at on that?
So I sent you a draft that after you were dealing with the deadline, the letters for the town objecting to the permit for the waste disposal place.
Gotcha.
And the draft went to you to work on for a letter.
And I did get that. You didn't get the, I did get back to you.
A question about trade lighting, and I sent you a link.
Yeah, I was good with that. And the rest of it, you're good with the rest of it? Okay.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think we're ready to roll on that.
Yeah.
Mark, anything on that?
No, you're just talking about the mobile lighting.
Yeah.
Shutting that off, making sure they shut it off, right?
We'll jump next to the Public Safety Building Committee, which is on the 12th also. I passed on attending, but I did watch it on line so I could stay up with it. The minutes were approved. Everything's good on that. And then they had some folks come in and talk about options for designing. And it was from Martini Northern. They came in and had a presentation and a handout, which they gave, and they talked about the three processes. That is traditional one, come up with the design, put it out for bid, and then build off of it. And the other one is, second option is the construction management approach. Basically, You get a contractor or you contract with an architect, you work through it, and then it kind of sets a price. And the one that seems to be getting the most favor now amongst a lot of entities, towns that are building fire stations, police department, combined entities, is the design build method, which is sets earlier cost certainty and faster project delivery. So there's some questions that the board is working on, trying to ascertain which one will be more beneficial to the town and trying to grab the nuance of each one to make sure that we're not reinventing the wheel. And I'm going to jump ahead here. Lieutenant Blaze has gone ahead. He's building a spreadsheet of a lot of communities that have built public safety buildings. And basically, the whole objective is not to reinvent the wheel, find out what works, what did not work. And that way it'll make it easier to go down through it line by line, do a cost benefit analysis on each approach and what construction plans worked. The next thing one of the next things they talked about was municipal project planning and funding. Once everything's kind of hanging right now on the results of the election on next month. And once if the warrant article is approved for the 50,000, then the needs assessment will be done because it'll need to bring in some extra expertise for the needs assessment. The police department and the fire department have worked very well together to basically draw up what they need for space. And this will allow them to bring in some expertise to refine that and polish the diamond, so to speak. We talked about learning from other municipalities, not abandoning the wheel. And again, right after, I think it was after the last meeting, Chief, where we got the email that said all the grant applications were due by 6 March to get monies for this year. So we could have jumped through all the hoops there are, but it wouldn't have happened because there's just too much to be done. So it takes the squeeze off in that sense. So if this passes, which the select board supported unanimously for that $50,000 warrant article, then it'll give us time to really polish this and really work it and have a really good project to present to the town for the elections next year. Next meeting will be on February 26th at 5:30. These are open meetings. The board did go into non-public to discuss land options, and I'll leave it at that. Chief, you have anything you want to add?
No, I think you hit on the head there, everything that was in the minutes.
Alrighty. And please, I'll be at the next one, and God willing, and the creeks don't rise. But everybody's doing a good job, and everybody's been very diligent and working hard to find a solution to this and do it as in a fiscally responsible nature as possible. Mark, Conservation Commission yesterday.
Yeah, we had a good amount of things to cover yesterday. Let's start with a little nicety. The Newfields Garden Club had Gina Thomasett come in and wanted to present these rain barrels, presenting the Great American Rain Barrel Program, where communities can purchase a rain barrel, and it'll be distributed during the Garden Club sale. So that's kind of nice. They'll offer
Memorial Day.
60-gallon barrels, $89 each. And it's a good way to conserve water and also, just water your plants and all of that. I have a little snippet that I forwarded to both of you guys, and we just need to have the town accept this program. So we have to request the rain barrel program. Go to them and just request
When did you send that?
it. Sent it this evening.
Yeah, because I don't have anything. I had an email and I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
So it's just, all it is basically some information about that program. Continued bylaw discussion, talking about limits for officers, limiting consecutive terms for chairs, etc. Also had discussed, I believe, Tom and Allison's positions will be coming up, and they both had shown an interest in continuing. So that needs to be, I guess, voted on our end, coming March.
Josh or
Josh,
Josh and Allison or Tom? What is Tom holding?
I said, Tom,
Redberg.
Yeah.
What is he holding?
what is he holding?
Josh is the vice chair.
Yeah, but no, Tom is his position is expiring because he took over.
Oh, his seat
Yeah,
is
someone-
expiring, we're not an officer position.
No.
That's what I thought you
He
were
just,
talking about.
no, he simply has stated that he'd like to continue.
Yeah.
Okay, so, also, what else? As far as, there's, this is the biggie. So we were spending quite a bit of time about the, resource, issue and, how we were going to kind of approach that and speaking, to that we'd like to post, I sent that off to you also. The Concom put together a post that we'd like to put onto the town website, offering people an opportunity to respond to DES and to request that this does not go forward. And you'll see a copy of that.
I did see a copy of that. I talked to Tom, and just because we got it this evening, I have not had a chance to read it. He told me he saw some errors in it and it needs to be redrafted and corrected.
Yes.
So what we received is not ready for publish yet.
No, but the idea is it's a general idea. Okay. And there was one portion of it that they had put together that needs to be corrected. Yes. But and Tom and Allison will go through that. Okay. Also, there was a discussion of drinking water fund assistance from DES, that there's funding for those whose wells are on dry, and there's help available for well repair. I think there's an income level where they would be eligible for that. And I can send that off to Sue as well if we wanted to make that public.
Yeah, I got that a couple of weeks ago and did forward it to her. She's already put it online in town.
Yep. Okay. And there's a New Hampshire state bill that is coming up that would restrict eligibility for current use property, HB 1691. And this was just brought up as for the commission to be aware of. They're not taking action, but public comments could be submitted on the state of New Hampshire's website. And that is it. Mainly it's the resource that we'd like to hammer home, to make sure that we're sending out as much information as possible to people in town, making them aware of that. Because I don't think there's enough people that know about that right now.
2 points. The State Conservation Association came out with an email on that, as did the Municipal Association, on the current use. Having dealt with current use quite a bit over the past 25 years or so, this bill has been hammered. And the general attitude towards it is inexpedient to legislate. It'll put so many restrictions on current use and basically defeat the purpose of current use, which is maintaining open land by reducing and mitigating taxes for people. So instead of developing the land, selling the land to pay their own property taxes, you can put land in current use. It remains undeveloped and you pay a lower tax rate on it. And it has saved tens of thousands of acres in the state of New Hampshire. This proposed bill by Representative Reed out of Newmarket, who's the primary sponsor, wants to put all kinds of restrictions on current use, where it's based on income, where it's based on what you can do with it. And it will be the end of current use if that were to pass, because people would just go, I cannot meet my obligations and responsibilities and comply with this version of current use. And it will defeat a bill that's been in, I think, since 1982. So the consensus is
Commenting on.
it's a very bad proposal. The board did get that letter off. We signed it unanimously in regards to Epping. And I had a long conversation with Tom Retberg. I think it was yesterday or the day before. He is, I'd say, taking the lead on it for the Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
And he has been very diligent in gathering resources. We talked yesterday about just what we have in Newfields for solid waste and what we track a year. We're doing about 600 tons a year out of Newfields. And the number that they want to run into Epping is exponentially higher. I mean, I can't even remember the number at my job.
750 tons a day.
Day.
Yeah, times 365.
Than we produce in a year.
And if you look on the map of where this waste plot is, it's about 30 meters away from the river.
In feet.
30 meters, I measured 30 meters, but at the closest, it's more, in feet, it would be 90 feet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's America.
Well, you know, weren't you in the military though?
No, we don't use meters. We just use clicks. This is America. We use feet. People understand feet.
90 feet.
30 meters is 90 feet.
Thank you.
It's damn close. It's very close. We should also display that on that town post as well.
So once we get a hard copy of that and a chance to review that post and make sure it's accurate all the way through and have a chance, I just didn't, coming in at 6 o'clock tonight, just didn't have the opportunity to do so.
Chris Chanelaris had sent a draft and there was an error in it. And so what I forwarded to you was slightly corrected, but have Tom and double check it.
And I think it's the consensus of the board to strongly look for sunshine on this issue in full compliance with all DES and state orders, rules, regulations, and RSAs. Until we get those answers, going to go, no, we cannot support this until we see everything in black and white. So, and I think it will behoove us as a board to continue to stay on top of this and work tightly with the Concom to make sure that we can make the Newfields feelings heard on this. All right. Anything else, Mark?
No, that is it pretty much.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the cycle event. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, fellas.
Phyllis Mackey, 31 Finn. I'm just curious if you guys have a sense of what the time frame is with everything going on in Epping.
So I looked for some text or language for the planning board to see if there was anything going on.
From the Epping Planning Board.
Right, Epping Planning Board, and there was nothing. But the DES is making a decision, I believe it's April 12th, or their decision on complaints that have been filed, and they may push it back to the town. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to roll. So it's just, I think it's up to us to put some pressure on them to make sure that this goes south.
Is that something that like we should show up to on April 12th or?
I don't know if there's a,
I'd recommend Phyllis that just really stay on top of this. This is such a dynamic event. It's analogous to when the Exeter Hospital canceled ALS with 10 days notice. This has gone through and it's slid under the radar. There's no notice to the abutting towns. Technically, we weren't required to do so. There's a lot of environmental entities that have a lot of horsepower that are starting to get spooled up on this. So I just think it's really going to be incumbent, one, on us as a board, two, the Concom, to stay on top of this and talk about it at every select board meeting. And I encourage the citizenry of the town to really get on top of this, because this has great potential to cause us problems environmentally, water-wise, et cetera, because we're downstream from it. So
what I think would be, as we move forward, if there's something specific that can be done, like letter writing and phone calls, that information can be provided to residents as well, so that people can speak up directly to object to the permitting process, there's an excellent chance some expansion is going to happen at that site. This particular company has expanded their other locations, and so they're already accustomed to pushing these things through in a variety of places. And so it's not a matter of them not being allowed to do it. It's really a matter of slowing the process to make sure that all of the safety measures that can possibly be put in place are actually required to be done as part of the permitting process. So that's probably the best we're going to accomplish. I don't think we're not going to stop this. But if we can exert some muscle to the state to mandate them to follow as tight safety processes as possible, then that at least might slow things down. It could make it less feasible for them to go the scope that they want to go, and hold them accountable for the safety that needs to happen after the fact while they're expanding it, but when they're running it later. Everything from fire mitigation to the roads and on the traffic and all of that. So we're basically objecting on every level and asking for very specific things to be done. So I think as we are making something public, this, that's going to be refined, having information on exactly what residents can do, whether it's phone calling, letter writing.
That post little has some call to action on there. They can do. So
I think that's what people need.
What is the role of the executive council? Do they have any role or oversight of the DES?
James Stevens, who's our executive counselor, is a very effective and tenacious counselor. She does have a great deal of say and sway in this. She is engaged in it now. She has been brought into it. And she has been exceptionally aggressive on the ALS issue, on the paramedic issue, and I expect the same tenacity will transpire in this. One of the big things that came up with dovetailing on what Mark and Kat said was not only the issue of the size, but failure to comply and enforcement is a huge issue, because a lot of times you can get the permit, you can run it, and then it's kind of like a sideways glance, like, oh, you're not really cleaning it up like you should, or things are getting too close to the water, but putting some real teeth in the enforcement and having it enforced and held accountable.
So the contract isn't really signed by the state, it's signed by Epping in terms of,
So as a DES will have to sign off on it.
they have to approve it then.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so
And the word is Epping, and I haven't seen this in black and white. Epping supports it. They have some motivation incentive there, maybe to reduce their waste expenses, but they are in the 10-year contract, just like we are, for turnkey up till 2033 to take all their refuse up to MSW up to turnkey. So there's issues and ramifications for them. I mean, there's all kinds of pieces to this.
a lot of moving to.
Yeah. So thank you. Anything else on this? We ready to move on?
Yep.
All right. Next thing on the agenda is the GRVL, or the gravel cycling, and that will be coming through on Sunday, June 7th. This is a annual event. Chief, you got any input on this?
This is an annual event. They are insured. They leave the junction in Newmarket, come down the rail trail, cross 87. The bicyclists obey all laws. They yield and stop to traffic. We've never had an issue and never had any complaints.
So I have a copy of the letter and of the certificate of liability insurance. Guess we can just say we're good with it. I'll make a motion that we're good and accept it.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We don't need any signatures on that, right, Keish?
No.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, town hall rental. That'll be for senior helpers. You going? And let's see, for the date on that, looking for it here, on Tuesday, March 24th. And it will be a non-alcoholic function. We do have the deposits, everything's good on that. I'll make a motion, we accept that unless somebody has an issue with it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let me sign that one off. Here, this one.
Not that one.
Yeah, that's just one. Next item on the agenda, we got some stumpage reimbursement for the town. The first one is from Hutchinson, from the cutting they did there. This is gonna bring the town the big sum of $5,784.28 in stumpage, which is better than a sharp stick in the eye. Good on this? Any issues with this?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
While you were signing that one, then we also have a stumpage from Selt. That's gonna bring us in $1,104.17. Make a motion on that one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Each on these minutes, were you able to throw the changes in?
I did get the changes.
Okay,
Yes.
reference them as we go through it. You all set, Mark?
All set.
All right, next item is prior meeting minutes. On 27 January, page 3. Local River Management Advisory. I feel usurped there. Since I'm the chair of the select board, not Michael. We got that changed. Had to go hug the puppy for a while. And then, probably noted that Michael Sanu, our current planning board alternate, will move up. It's will possibly move up. So that is a change on that. And that's all I had for the 27 January. Any other changes?
No.
I'll make a motion. We accept the 27 January minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jumping to the deliberative session from February 3rd. I had to change page 1. 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down. Hoping notice Piscasset Greenway bond will be paid off. And then it says over 40,000 from the sale of 399 Piscasset Road taken by the town for non-payment of taxes in 2027. Adding the date in there because that is not ours until 2027. We can't move it till then. And then on page 4, down under Article 8, hope I explained the Exeter Hospital terminated. The last sentence, next to the last sentence, the program, it says the program will be changing from a flat fee to a per call. The program may be changing from a flat fee to a per call. And those are the only changes I have. Kat, did you have any?
No.
Mark, you all set?
Yeah.
In that case, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. All in favor? Minutes are done. All right, the next thing we have is an abatement for a resident who is in the commercial district. We've been doing this for probably the past 10 years. And this is just a standard formality. I'll make a motion. We accept this abatement application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And not to touch the paper where he touched it.
This is the guy who's feeling sickly.
Got a trip to go to land. All right.
This is, the next item on the agenda is the town investment policy. We have been through this and we've reviewed it and we've cut it. I'm looking at the final signature page. This is a legal document. It does not have my full legal name on there, because of the sincere importance of this. I would like to get it corrected and then just stop in and sign it.
The one I emailed you had that correction on it.
I guess I couldn't find the one you sent me, so,
In any case, we'll just,
so to look again, and like,
she'll just, because it's only, it needs my full legal name on it, instead of
Okay.
nickname.
yeah, I didn't.
So if we can make that correction
Will do.
and then just put it in the office and everybody can swing by this week and sign it,
Perfect.
that'll be great. No big deal, just crossing the Ts and dotting the Is. Let's see. Yeah, have you got anything else?
Now, there was one other correction that I made in the one that I sent to.
Okay, so you just get together with Keisha and make sure that's squared away.
To make sure that.
Okay. All right, Mark, you got anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay, so one of the things I did, the new town report, I was going through it. I was looking at the road agent section in there. We're getting hit really hard on road agent expenses this winter with all the salt and the plowing and everything like that. But I did notice in there when I was looking at his paving plans for next year, wants to finish up deer trees and do Swampset. We were supposed to do Quinn Court this year in 2025. Quinn Court is not on there. Quinn Court is an absolute disaster. It's only like 200 feet. And I would like to get the consensus of the board, if you're amenable, that Quinn Court must be done in 2026. It's only 200 feet and we put these folks off and there's a couple of swimming pools in that road. And I think that needs to be our priority and I'd like to get the consensus of the board and then I'll forward that to Brian.
I completely agree. Was there something that we were waiting for, whether it was a survey or some type of?
They were doing some work and running heavy equipment back and forth in there. There is an outstanding issue on boundary lines, but the consensus was to pave it with the current blacktop, no lighter or no skinner. Are you good with that, Mark?
Good with that.
Okay, then I will relay that to Brian, that the select board wants Quinn Court paved this year.
Yep.
Okay. Paving Quinn Court. And you talked about the planning board information session on March 4th at 7:00 at Town Hall. Because that has a lot of ramifications if that doesn't pass. And people vote no on that. Anything else you want to bring up, Cap? Mark?
No.
Chief, you got anything? How we doing?
We're good.
Well, in that case, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
2 minutes late, already. 7:30.
So it's 6:30 in Central Time, so we're doing really good.